yeah, we just wanted to confirm that the system was very rugged, so the remainder of the matches stay at the quality that we've been trying to show at for you.
We had a bit more delay as well
on the stream. So, both as obviously this is a pro league, we wanted to confirm that you know, everything was to a standard.
So yeah. Next match for sure a Protoss.
Yes, for sure a Protoss.
All right.
Okay.
I'm really hoping for a PVZ, to be honest. I think a PVZ would be the best choice if I was the team leader, of course. But I'm not, so yeah.
Yes.
It's the delay, bro.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah. Okay. So, right. Protoss first game played very, very well against the Terran, who in a TVT showed.
Yeah.
You know, very solid. I think so far what we've seen is a lot of very solid decision making. So, first game, obviously, the Terran took his advantage, knocks out when he saw his opponent was out of position. Second game, good scouting then led to excellent decision making, and obviously from there, every single decision that you saw Showtime make, you were thinking that's perfect here. Stargate going up, Double Forge going up. His opponent doesn't have his even versus eBay up, so he's going to be way ahead in upgrades. He's going to be basically hard countering this build.
Yeah, I mean, he delayed the eBay as well with the Phoenix, but it's going to be, from Team Megashock, it's going to be Era on Ohana.
Exactly, and when these two last played each other, Era beat Dedema 2-1. So Era hasn't played Showtime necessarily in these against these two in a clan war. They could against each other outside in a clan war. Against each other outside in a clan. 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 Against each other outside in a clan.
Alright,
yeah, right.
Sorry, we're back, guys. Sorry for that. Wow.
All sorts.
To give you some background info about these teams, like these teams have played before. It wasn't through 6PoolGaming, but it was on the ESL ladder. On the ESL ladder, Vega is still ranked 1, but the last 3 engagements, like the longest time ago, Megashock won. But the last 2 engagements these two teams had, Vega took the win. So perhaps that's also a mental aspect that plays, like previous confrontations.
Exactly. So I would like to see where this will go from here, like in terms of how these two will, you know, perform, because Era has obviously won his previous match against Vega, obviously a different player, but what that'll mean is then Dedema, who he beat, will then talk to his colleague, say, you know, certain things about his opponent that could be exploited. So Era's not going to find this easy, even though he won last time.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to see how Showtime could exploit that.
It's their Protoss player as well, so it's going to be a PvP.
So a PvP. So Dirk, as obviously yourself, at this level, what do you generally try and open in PvP? What is your mindset? How greedy do you try and be to win?
You don't try to be greedy. You try to be prepared and try to get an edge early. And these days, that happens through the star power play, through Phoenix. Yeah. That's like a very, very. If you play on the ladder, all the time, Stargate. Well, most of the time. There, of course, just because the current map pool isn't
it doesn't lend itself towards
the current there's only a few maps like Shakura's. Ohana is actually a pretty decent map for blink, but the thing is the only way you can blink in the base is either to the front or to the side, but you blink right where the ramp is, so it's not that optimal either. So
okay, so just making sure that both players are ready to go, and then obviously we'll be going into game. So yeah, a PvP on Ohana. I think this is quite a solid map for PvP because, as you've seen in some of the World Cyber Games, definitely in Germany there was a lot of PvP going on.
Yeah. Well,
Soke showed a good match.
how I experience it, like I play on the AU and the NA. On NA, I barely see Zergs, but here on the EU, it's like Zergs, Protosses, and a very limited amount of Terran. So even on our European server, it's a lot of Protosses in general.
Yeah.
Very, very few Terrans. Of course, on the higher level,
It evens itself out.
It evens itself out. It's like pretty balanced. So, but yeah, it looks like well, we are ready.
Yeah, we are definitely did. And both players are ready to go, so we are going to get this game on the road. Good luck to both players. 1-1 at the moment, going into second game.
Yes. So, as we jump back into our game, let's not forget, guys, this is a best of 9 series, so currently 1-1, pretty even, nothing really happened. And now we're gonna jump into this PvP on Ohana. I'm loving it.
Indeed. In the top left-hand corner, we do have the Team Megashock Protoss. His name is Ira.
And in the bottom right, we have from Team Vega, Showtime spawning as red.
Indeed. Okay, so we haven't seen any early probes. That was the first thing I was going to say.
Yes, I'm very happy about that. I'm so
no 8 probe, proxy 2 gate, or any other shenanigans. So it looks like they're going to both obviously try, hopefully more standard opens, and we'll see this go into another long macro game.
Yeah,
that's really what we're going to see in a PvP.
Well, I was just saying before, Phoenix is popular. Why Phoenix might be a really, really good choice is because this map is actually very tempting to open Robo.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always a 3-way thing. Blink counters Phoenix, Phoenix counter Robo, Robo counters Blink, so...
Also, what I'd like to say just quickly there, Dirk, is as you can see Ira going around his base, scouting thoroughly around his base. Big thing for everybody at the lower level, and now you're seeing his opponent do exactly Showtime do the same thing.
Yeah, you don't want to die to some silly to proxy 2 gate. I mean, and we also see both players are not scouting at all. They just scout around their base. That's normal. If you come into the opponent's base now, you won't see anything abnormal really. You just confirm there's no proxy. That's all you need to do. Anyway, I think we'll see some eventual scouting just a little later. And yeah,
and I think Showtime is now going to move out and just make sure it's all very standard. This is a better timing to have a look because then you can see if he's taking a second gas.
Yeah, that's what matters. Is he taking a fast second gas? Yes or no? Perhaps he gets the chance to even gas steal him and disrupt the build. But as we see, Ira already having a slight diversion, and I think he's going for some zealot pressure because we see the chrono boost going down on the gate, but he's rallying his nexus towards the gas geyser. So that indicates he perhaps wants to apply some pressure with some zealots, perhaps, or just wants to play very safe with zealots. So it looks very expand oriented from Ira.
Yeah. And his opponent Showtime, a very solid here, taking a second gate.
Yeah. It's gonna be some 2-gate pressure, I think. After scouting what he did now, he probably is clicking on that gas geyser and sees like, yeah, perhaps I can do something with this.
There is a timing here necessarily that I could use to do some pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to see if it's going to be a second stalker move out. I think it will be.
Yeah.
Yep. And will it be chrono? That's the second thing.
No, I don't think he's gonna chrono. I think he's gonna keep the chrono for when the other gate finishes, and then quickly chrono out 2 extra stalkers. That's I think what will happen. Just so you can have the quick 2 extra stalkers behind that. But it's gonna be a robo even. So
A robo goes
robo.
down. Okay.
And
And his opponent.
is 4 gating.
Wow.
But
And
I don't think it's a committed 4 gate though. I think it's more of a defensive. I think he will have an expansion with this.
yeah, I think
Might
you're right.
be wrong though. It's forget
Well, I think-
Blink Stalker. All right, this
Okay, so this
This
will
is
be a
all-
committed 4-gate. Yeah. This is
yeah,
an
yeah. Very committed. But it's already a good opener. It's a blind counter from Showtime.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, taking that robo before any expansion and after the second gate means that his immortal
Yeah.
count.
The thing is, he will to have 2 immortals with a third on the way when the Blink play arrives, or even will have 3 already if he really keeps making them, because he will go Observer first, which is a great call. And here we see some pressure being applied. Not using the force field. Very, very smart decision. No need to use it on one Zealot. Now we get some extra shots on the Stalker. Is he going to chase the Zealot, you think?
Yeah, I think that's not a bad trade because he's only going to use shield on the.
Yeah,
Whereas-
exactly. And here he goes, gets the Zealot and moves back with the Stalker without losing any hull damage. So that's great.
And the other thing is his opponent. And okay, no, he does take an expansion behind this. So this is going to be some blink pressure, I suspect.
Well, I think it's more of a reactionary. He puts. I think the blink and the 4 gates were more of a defensive measure.
Just in case.
Just in case, and he will still apply some pressure with the blink observer play.
Yes.
Just to try and pick up a pylon here and there and stuff like that. So.
And is this observer going to get found? I think it's going to get seen. Yep, it's going to get seen. And it's going to get caught.
No, it's not going to get
Oh,
it,
just gets away. No.
Yeah. Too few stalkers.
Yes.
But he's using to roboplay immortal production himself now, so I'm a little bit. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about this build. I think the 4 gates is a bit of an overcommitment. I think he could have had a faster expansion with it, but perhaps there's something behind this. I think the opener from Showtime is a bit more efficient.
Definitely the 3-gate robo expand, and the big thing is he didn't produce any more units before taking expansion, bar the 2 zealots and the stalker that he was originally going to use for harass off that 2-gate pressure.
Well,
then
he's moving out, so he's moving out with just his stalkers, and yeah, it's just gonna be harass purpose. It's just poke in, make the opponent feel uncomfortable, take advantage of if the opponent is like not very well positioned, he can perhaps pick up a pylon or something. Small damages can lead to a big advantage sometimes.
Yeah, and but this observer is going to see that there's 3 immortals now on the field, and a blink stalker pressure really doesn't get shut down because this pylon at the back can get seen from the third, from the pocket base.
Yeah.
If with the observer, so that can be attacked, but yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of damage being done here.
No, it's only 4 stalkers anyway. So, but we see both players probing up really, really nicely as well. And he sees the observer, and will he get it in time before he gets away?
Yes, that's not going to get away. Yeah, that dies there.
Yeah, he could have flown it away over the rocks. I think, and then he would have saved it, but fortunately for him.
And now Showtime's observer is now getting in, and is going to see everything.
Yeah.
The Twilight.
But at the moment,
Robo
both builds are very, very similar. They're both going for some robo play. Now getting forges up for both players as well.
Yeah. Double forge for Ira, only the single forge. And now the second forge going down. So,
and with him destroying the rocks right now, it looks like he wants to take a 3rd base. But if Showtime is perhaps planning a 2-base timing, it might be pretty efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely has. He has the higher immortal count, and he has the higher supply at the moment. But it's whether or not he realizes he has the higher supply. And because his opponent has been using his warpins, not necessarily efficiently, but he's just been choosing to do other things with that minerals.
Yeah, yeah.
Taking the
They're
extra
just
gate.
powering up their infrastructure and stuff for when they have the economy, they can just quickly power up their army. But we see a very refined build actually from Era, having enough gas for both the upgrades and can constantly produce Colossus. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna come down to upgrades eventually, though, if they're really gonna have a max versus max army. But we already see in supply, Showtime is leading, and I think, did he actually scout the third base? Let's quickly have a look.
Yeah, just waiting to see.
No, Showtime did not scout the third base, and
But he has taken his in response. It could be the fact that he's assuming at this time it's a solid time if he hasn't taken
12
the third.
minutes is usually a time when in PvP you have your third on the way.
And it is 2 Colossus versus the 1 Colossus of his opponent yet. The second just coming out now. So they're pretty similar at the moment in terms of builds. Thermal Lance is going to be finished for Ira. Slightly ahead. Actually, Thermal Lance is finished for Ira. And I'm just seeing, Thermal Lance hasn't even been started for his opponent yet.
Yeah, nice.
Has not even been started. So he... Oh no, no
they have both Thermal Lance.
He's finished. Yeah.
Anyway, but the second robot is on the way for Showtime, so he's definitely aiming to go into double robot production. But so we're going to move into a Mass Colossus versus Mass Colossus engagement sometime. But the thing is, there's 2 different styles you can play here. Like the Korean style is just get 3-3 and go. The more European style is get a mothership instead and try to work more with the mothership.
And I guess it will really depend, if there's going to be if one person favors a certain style.
Yeah, and we see that certain style is developed here by Era. His target is just finishing up, and you'll see a fleet beacon sometime soon, I'm assuming. Yeah, as soon as he has the gas for it. Yeah, you see both players instantly taking 5th and 6th gas geyser. I mean, it's so important that you get as much gas income at this point. The mineral income isn't the most important thing. It's really the gas to sustain upgrades. Yeah.
Could you take a 4th base here? They're both powering up. Neither of them are really going to be necessarily engaging each other at the moment. But do you think it's too greedy, or is it a possibility? Do you think it's viable at the moment?
Well, it's not really about too greedy. It's more like it's on the side. Your army can get caught off guard very easily, because it's just very vulnerable, the outlying bases. That's why I think it's a bit too early. I think they're gonna take it more around 17 minutes. That seems like a nice time to take it. And once they build up more of their Colossus count, 6 to 7, something like that.
But as you said, it is a second Colossus out for his opponent. Sorry, second Robo has already started for his opponent.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's going to be ahead.
Yeah, but Era chose for the mothership, and the mothership is a very big thing. But is Showtime aiming to hit the timing right here? Because he's almost at 2-2. But he gets back by Era.
And they're moving around each other, and he's going to see.
Yeah. It's all going to come down to position now, and it's going to be a 2-2 timing from Showtime.
And it's 6 Colossus to 5 of his opponent. They are both warping in. Very similar.
Yeah, and the mothership is still 60 seconds from finishing. And he takes a 4th base behind this. Yeah, it's a very nice call.
Oh, he's moving out here. We just want to see if there's going to be a solid concave.
Nice spread there from Era, and Showtime doesn't want to engage this like that. He needs to have a proper spread from himself, but Era has the concave.
Oh, they're moving out now. Yeah, exactly. All the army. And now it's all about how well they can engage.
Yeah, very careful from both players. Oh, he's gonna move in though. And the charge will get... Oh no!
And that's a much better concave for Era there.
Yeah, Era gets the concave, and the initial hits on the Colossus are gonna matter, or will they matter? No, he still pushes...
2 Colossus so close to dying there. From
Showtime. But Showtime still has the ground force to support it.
But here comes the mothership, and this could be a counter push here from Era.
Yeah, can he push this back? That's the question, but there's 2 observers in the army of Showtime, so the mothership has no energy for a vortex. As also Showtime's 4th did finish, so he should be taking the gases over there, but here we go to the engagement with the mothership.
Here comes the engagement, yeah, and I think he's going to move back. Is he going to move?
I think he should take it.
Yeah, and he's going to take it here. The Vortex, is it ready? I'm just waiting to see. It's 83.
Oh, yeah. Is the mothership gonna matter though? I think he's just gonna save his Colossus, not take any risks, and just get some High Templars out. And the thing is now, it's gonna be a bit of a dance. Like,
Yes.
I think Showtime will try to get 2 High Templars out and have them in the army just to feed back the mothership. It's gonna be who can you get Vortex first, or you can get feedback first. That's all that's gonna matter now. But will even that detail matter? Because
look at the supply difference here.
Yeah, but it's also 7 Colossus against the 3 from Era, and still 2 in production every time from Showtime. So I feel Era is falling behind on the Colossus production. And will this fort base fall? Oh, we might see a Vortex here. Oh, catches a lot of the army, and now we can have a good spread, but I don't know. I really don't know if the Vortex will matter in this case. We'll have to wait and see.
And a massive engagement here, and I think Era is actually in trouble here. Yeah, he's definitely
Era is in trouble. The fort will fall together with the army, and what can he do?
I don't see a lot. This teching into mothership just wasn't as effective, and there's the good game.
Yeah, good game. Yeah, came down. Well, I think what really mattered there is the second robo, and the taking to mothership. I don't know. Yeah, as I said, from Showtime it was a proper timing, like 2-2 timing, and you saw what upgrades do in that case. It was only 1 upgrade up. Well, we have 2 upgrades up. Era's
in the final engagement
finishing. Yeah. Unfortunately for him. But Showtime takes another game and moves into our 4th game of the night. So again, the ball is in the camp of Team Megashock, and Showtime
really showing very strong. Yeah. He's won the last 2 games, showing in a PvT and a PvP. Are we going to see a PvZ now? Are they going to try and probe him to see if he's got a weaker matchup against Zerg? Or are they going to put another Terran or another Protoss against him? I think it's quite interesting here, just to see where they will go. You know what they're going to look to do, to have an answer for how well Showtime is playing at the moment.
Yeah, Megashock still has a Terran and a Zerg ready, and the rest are all Protosses. So perhaps they're limited on options of matchups.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to keep those Terrans and the Terran and Zerg player for a separate person that the Vega can put out.
Yeah,
it could be interesting. We could be seeing quite a few PvPs here, or another PvP. That was a good Vortex though from.
Was a good Vortex, but
if you have the mothership, wasn't enough.
Well, either he has the mothership earlier, or I feel the mothership was a bit of a liability there. It didn't really matter that much, if you know what I mean, because he didn't have the army numbers to back it up, and it's all about quantity in the end. I mean, it doesn't matter how well your upgrades are sometimes. If you don't have the quantity of units, then it doesn't really matter. But anyway, I really thought this opener was a bit like,
interesting. The 4-gate
transition to the mid-game transitioning was very solid from Era. I feel just this opener was maybe a bit too safe, if you know what I mean. I would have at least tried to be aggressive, but it's so hard to be aggressive on Ohana. So,
and also it seems like his opponents had a very solid counter to the build, taking the Garuba after the 2 gates. Really meant that the Blink Stalker play just wouldn't be as strong.
Yeah, I think if you really want to go for a pretty good Blink Stalker play, he would have been on more Shakuras or something.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Loco on Entombed. Loco is another Protoss player.
So a PvP. As we said, they only have 1 Terran and 1 Zerg behind us. Actually, it's not going to be Entombed Valley. The map choice is still to be decided. I think it definitely will be Loco. Just trying to think of a good. What would you choose here? You're in a clan, obviously in a clan league. What would you do here, Nova, in this type of situation? Obviously, you're 2-1 down. You've just seen one of your own Protosses lose here. The first Protoss to be chosen, bearing in mind, against Showtime. So a second Protoss is now being put forward.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Whirlwind. So you're having to put a second Protoss out. Obviously, your first Protoss out was to win, I suspect, against Showtime. That he lost means,
Well,
you know...
I'm not very familiar with the map Whirlwind, so I can't really answer, like, I give you a really, really solid answer, but I do think Whirlwind is a big map.
Yes, it is. Obviously, it's a huge map. So
yeah, what I'm hoping is Phoenix. I'm always hoping for Phoenix in the PvP.
Yeah, very good. Obviously, Phoenixes require a lot of good micro, but if you do have that ability to micro them well, they can be so cost effective and cost efficient against their opponent and really put them in the lead.
I think it was a game in the GSL. It was so awesome. So it was a PvP, and the player made 8 Phoenixes. As soon as the other player moves out, he moves in with the Phoenix and kills all the probs. It was on a Daybreak. And
yeah, exactly.
We'll see something like that. We will have to see. I mean, it's not up to me to decide. It's up to the players. So
how the games perform.
I can only tell you what I'm expecting, what I'm hoping for. But I'm enjoying it so far. So it's all good for me, man.
Just watching some of these games play, showing what they would do in certain situations. And you know their necessary responses. It just really it shows how good these players are.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested to see, because obviously Megashock goes 1-0 up. Very, very solid start for them. Must be pleased. And then Showtime's come in and kind of just reset the situation and made it really.
Yeah, he set
really
like the bar.
Yeah.
Definitely showing that his builds are pretty solid, but the thing is now, they saw his build.
Yeah.
So it is going to be local on Whirlwind, so we'll just wait for the match to be set up and for our invites to go out, and until then, well, perhaps the chat has any questions for us. Perhaps we can provide you with some answers. Also, while we wait for the chat to maybe reply, we'd like to give a big thanks again to 6PoolGaming for giving us this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Indeed. Obviously, Zeke hosting the website, hosting the Pro League. Also, thanks to them. And basically, it's just, and also to you as viewers to watch it. That's the reason we're doing it. So you have a good showing of high level play, and hopefully you're enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. So, Showtime versus Loco is set up, and yeah, we are always ready to start whenever the players are ready. So we'll just wait for them to be ready, and we'll jump right into this game.
Okay then, guys in the chat, any questions for us out there? Obviously, for how the games have been so far, or anything specific you thought that could have been done differently, anything at all really, and we'll talk to you about why.
Well, let's have a quick look at Whirlwind actually. It doesn't allow me to preview it. Oh, too bad. Too bad. I only saw Whirlwind like a few times in the GSL.
Generally, I've seen a lot of TVZs on Whirlwind, but I haven't seen many PvPs.
Yeah, so
I'm assuming because of the size of the map, it'll really because of the size of the map, it'll tend itself to a long game. But both the players are ready to go, so we're going to get this game on the way.
All right. Alright, as we jump back into the game.
Indeed. With the loading screen just finishing up.
Yes, with the loading screen, of course. Best friend. So players can spawn everywhere.
Yes.
But it doesn't really matter
corners.
too much. Yeah, this is like yeah, of course. They can spawn in all corners. Thank you, Neil.
I don't think it'd be a very good map if it tended them one spawn in the main and the spawn in the third or something.
Anyway, as we get going, in the top left-hand corner, we have from Team Megashock the Orange Brothers logo.
Indeed, and Showtime showing us a good time. 2-0 up at the moment. He is the green Protoss in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to have to apologise for my puns. They're bad. But cross spawn here, it's going to turn it's going to be I think it's going to be a long map. A long game, sorry, I don't see this being quick.
Yeah, well, it's a huge map, and it's gonna be a huge game, I think.
Yeah, the thing is, you can have a lot of hidden bases on this map, so that there is an opportunity here for a lot of posturing and, you know, fake and sly tactics where you kind of show 4 gates or something, but actually you've expanded before taking those gates. And it's all about whether or not the opponents are realising and being very on what's going on with each other's builds.
Well, the first thing to note though, like, I'm not expecting that much, like an all-in play from any of them really, because it's still a ramp, but it could still be a 1 base all-in play, I must say. It can still be a 2 base all-in, because look how wide this ramp is at the natural. It's a 3 force field ramp. Or is it even? It's 3, isn't it? I think it's 4.
I think it'll be 3 with a gap, with a small gap.
Yeah.
Or a 4th would be needed.
Yeah,
and they're both going to realise probably at a very similar time that it's cross form, just from the timing that they'll get into each other's base, which is fine. So I'd like to. Do you know what? I'd like to see, as you said, some Phoenix play because they're so far apart. I think Phoenix play on this map would be really viable. Purely because then, if armies are out of position, Phoenix can swoop in, kind of do a lot of damage before the army gets back into position. It makes it tough for either opponent to want to move out because of that threat for Phoenix play coming in and really doing a lot of damage to your manure line.
Yeah. So we're not just gonna wait and see, and we also get an answer about what I just wanted to say, and we see a second gas already for local, and the second gas being thrown down for Showtime.
At a very similar stage. So, they both look like they're both going to be teching in, as you said, quite early on in this map. But I don't think there'll be much in the necessary early pressure. It'll be more. I think it'll be more teching up for these double gases.
Yeah, and the Zealot chases out the probe. In the meanwhile, and the Stalker being chrono boosted together with the Cyber. So is he gonna be aggressive with his first Stalker Zealot? Because I think Loco's gonna do the same. I think they're just gonna like meet up in the center or something.
Yeah, and as you said, I think so. But his opponent now is taking his second Stalker, so it's actually
they're fighting for Zalnaga control.
Yeah, which is very understandable at the moment. But that chrono obviously means that Showtimes is actually ahead here, and we'll be able to hold that Zalnaga control.
Oh, look at this! Circumventing the Zalnaga tower to perhaps get a probe near the base of his opponent. Plant some proxy, because we do see another 2-gate robo opener from Showtime, like last game.
And his opponent's gone for 1-gate robo open.
Yeah. So again, both players opening robo. And that's just going to be an expand play.
Yeah. With a forward pylon, just for harass most likely.
Yeah. And I think he's keeping the probe down there just so he can perhaps plant the pylon there, optionally, and maybe get a probe in to check if he's taking the expansionist or no, because he does try to get into his opponent's base, but that's not going to happen. Quick force field from Loco prevents that.
Yeah, he doesn't actually get to see anything at the moment. So as you said, yeah.
Well, he can't really fight it with he had Stalker Zealot Sentry, and he can't really fight the Zealot and 2 Stalkers, so he had to go pull back in force field. There was no other way. But in the meanwhile, we see Showtime getting his expansion up.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting to see. Okay, so now a Warp Prism is being. I wondered if this was going to happen. A Warp Prism is coming out now, and they're moving around the map, right around the edges. So it looks like we are going to see some Warp Prism play into the main.
Will he try to? Yeah.
And the Robo, a really quick Robo.
Yeah, the Robo Bay is really fast.
Yeah, for Loco. It's one gate Robo here, with obviously one Robo, and that's going to be chronoed out.
Is he gonna take the expansion now, or is he just gonna add 4 gates? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going up to 4 gate Robo.
Is he going to get scouted by the Observer? Yes, it is. The Observer is going to see it.
Yeah, he sees the Warp Prism has no Observer of his own, but he's already planting his proxy down the bottom.
And does he? Is he? Oh, he's going straight over the gateways as well. He's going to see absolutely everything here. And it's whether or not he can hold it off. That's the big thing here.
Yeah,
we
will see big Chrono Boosts going down on the Warp Gate, and perhaps Chrono Boost out another Immortal, because he's gonna need it.
And here comes the Colossus. It's going to come down across the map. The Observer sees absolutely everything here.
Yeah, the Observer is a crucial part here for him. I mean, his opponent skipping the Observer just for the sake of getting everything out faster
could be the difference in this game, just because purely he's going to see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and with the amount of sentries, I mean, he might have to give up his natural.
Yes.
We see the second Colossus is on the way.
But it is 2 Colossus at the moment versus the one of his opponent. There is more Stalkers, and it is obviously more sentry heavy for Showtime. But it's now moving in with the army, and I think, yeah, here it is, the move in from Loco.
Yep. And will he just go straight to the main? No, the Immortal's taking position, and they can take some pot shots at the Stalkers.
Oh, those... Oh, does he lose a Stalker there? No, he almost loses a Stalker there.
His own Colossus is on the way. He really, really needs his Colossus, though.
Yeah, if he can get this Colossus out, with his opponent's Colossus moving around the map, it's going to be slow on the engagement. Is he going to wait for that second Colossus?
Yeah, and the force field on the ramp. The Colossus has no range, so the Colossus can't really move forward, because he will just get sniped by these 3 Immortals. So it's a bit of an annoying situation. So we're having a bit of a...
Now there's a lot of dancing here, and the Colossus is coming down. And the second Colossus is just sitting in the middle of the map. It's now moving down, but it was waypointed badly there.
Yeah, it will join...
And are they going to move back? Yeah, the expansion is going to take... He's going to go ahead. He knows he's now probably slightly ahead here with now that he can take his expansion.
Yeah, he's going to have range before his opponent, and...
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
he killed his expansion, so that's already a big deal, but will he retake it? That's the question. And I think he will. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the expansion is going to be made. And obviously now both of these players are going to turn it back into a more of a solid long macro game here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as you said, the infrastructure for Loco is going to be slightly ahead in terms of tech. Extended Thermal Lance is going to be done. He's going to have more Colossus, purely because he started Colossus tech earlier. So going into the late game now, it's going to be if they go both for, as you said, Colossus versus Colossus battle, Showtime could be in trouble here just purely because he's going to be slightly behind in terms of Colossus play.
And he has the expansion later now, so that's also an issue for him.
And now we see this Warp Prison coming into the main, possibly into the main. Or yeah, I think it will be into the main. But there are 3 Stalkers there already guarding against it.
Yeah, he saw it, so he's not taking any risks. But with the Warp Prism, he did get confirmation right now over that
expansion was taken.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a bit of a
with the Observer.
Yeah, it's a bit of a silent stage into the game now. There's not that much going on, except for macro decisions, and yeah,
just waiting to see. I'm just looking at currently. We do see the Forge go down now for Showtime. His opponent hasn't actually put the Forge down as of yet, so he is going to be slightly ahead in upgrades. And I think that's one of the ways he can get back into this game with having better upgrades. He knows. I think he realizes he's going to be behind on
Oh.
Colossus count.
Loco isn't going for a macro game at all. He's going for a timing, adding
Yes,
up
those 3
4
extra
more
gates.
gates.
Yes.
That's gonna be a big timing actually.
And here comes the push across the map. With units being warped in from the warp prism, he's going to do warp in the main with the warp prism and then attack the front and just try and do too much for his opponent in terms of economic damage.
Yes, and the stalkers join the main army.
Yes, now I think the observer saw obviously moving out. He realizes that this is a timing now, and he is going to have to be getting as many units out as possible.
Yeah, and he has no other option than to hold this ramp at the front and try
And it
to
is
set
going
up
to be
a
4 Colossus with Thermal Lance. So against the 3 Colossus of his opponent with Thermal Lance.
Yeah, it's mainly the 8 gates available to warp in that's gonna be the big difference here. But perhaps
And here
Showtime
comes the
can
warp
get...
prism play.
Yeah, the warp is
Into-
going to the main.
And the 3 Stalkers come back up. I think it's going to be too late. And what is he going to be warping? It's just so far, it's just Zealots.
Oh,
And
it's
if he's
the
not careful, he's going to lose the warp prism play. And he hasn't
Yeah.
moved up, but the 4 Colossus are moving up. 5 Colossus now.
Force the Guardian's shield.
Yes.
Oh, but losing the warp prism was a bit... Yeah, I think he could have done more with his drop play.
But the 2 Zealots are going to move around into the main. It's just to be attacking, and the 2... Yes. Yeah, he's just managing to get into the main, just do some damage here. But that will go down now as he walks in. And here's the big engagement.
Yeah, playing it out very, very patiently. Really, really smart play here. By
And there's
Loco.
just a that extra Colossus. And here comes the move in.
Showtime needs to reposition himself though. This is not a spot he wants to fight in, but
For the rest of his army, ooh, it's a bad spot here. And the supply's starting to differ here.
oh, nice spread here from Loco. Gets a huge
Yeah,
concave and he's moving in.
trouble. Showtime's really in trouble here. He's got himself stuck in the corner. And look at his supply really plummet down.
Oh, but the Zealots can't get into the battle. He needs to get those Zealots in the front. There we go.
And it's all about the micro here. And as you can see, the supply is now plummeting down 70, 65, down to the 117 of his opponent. And that natural being taken. All those probes really disappearing.
Yeah, and the natural might fall. Very nice play by Loco here, but let's not forget Showtime still has 3 Colossus on the high ground.
Yes.
The
But
natural...
the big economic damage being done.
Yes.
A lot of economic damage. And there goes.
The
And he can
natural
just
fall.
go back.
Yeah.
I would just go home here. He doesn't necessarily have to do all the damage
Yeah.
right now.
But I think he wants to finish it right here.
Yeah.
He knows he can take this and he's just going for it right now.
I think you're right. I think, to be honest, there's too much economic damage. 2 base versus a 1 base with all those minerals.
Yeah, look how patient he keeps playing though with these Colossus. But it's now 4 Colossus for Showtime.
Yeah. But
And let's not forget he still has an upgrade advantage. Maybe there's a way he can slowly crawl his way back into this game, but it needs to happen right now.
He's trying to force him into a really good, strong position here. And as you said, it's 4 Colossus versus the 4
Yeah,
of his
look
opponent.
at Loco taking a third. Knows this game is almost... This game is in the bag for him if he can keep his opponent contained.
And here comes the
there we go.
probe.
Yeah,
Everything moving out.
waiting for our last warp in. And, I
And
think
here we see a nice spread, and here comes the
Yeah.
push. Everything being moved. And look at the supply really start to plummet.
yeah,
the
and the
Stalkers
Stalkers
moving
focus, yeah, Stalkers focus firing the weaker Colossus.
And I think we're going to definitely see a GG very soon here as the supply really starts to differ.
Yeah, the supply is plummeting, and as soon as this Colossus falls, we will see the GG.
And there's the GG.
Wow.
So, 2-all. Loco being brought out there to beat Showtime, and the game going into 2-all.
Yes,
A lot of these games so far have kind of been, in the PvPs, have kind of been 2-base timings. Well hidden being the difference. Obviously, in the first game, Showtime doing a very solid 2-2 timing.
Oh, I really, really loved Loco's play there, to be honest. So patient, not overcommitting picking the right engagements, forcing his opponent into a bad spot, and yeah, it was really, really well methodical play.
Exactly that.
But now the question is, what will Vega
Indeed.
do? What will
Yes.
Vega do? They have a lot of Zergs though. Showtime was their only Protoss, and all they got left now is 1 Terran, and the rest are Zergs, 4 Zergs in total.
Okay, so PVZ is a likely option here.
Yes,
The
the odds are
purely
not
on
in the
numbers.
favor.
Yeah. And not only that, though, in all honesty, though, of the Zergs, one of them must favour PVZ as a matchup, or ZVP, as I should say. And if that's the case, then obviously I can see him being brought out here because Loco looked very solid in that game.
Yeah, it started with a 4-gate Colossus Odin, but then
Yeah.
saw he couldn't break his opponent.
And so just
Fell
very good-
back, took the expansion, and he killed the opponent expansion without losing not too much from his own. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how Vega can, obviously, what he can do, because it's 2-2 now. Obviously it's a best of 9, so it's first to 5, but it's kind of been leveled up, but put into Megashock's favour because it's now on Vega to win.
Yeah.
Loco's warmed up. He's in the game. He's started playing. He's fully in the right thought process mentally, and that can be the difference if obviously you bring someone who might not necessarily be ready to play.
well, that depends, of course. But we get an invite for our game. It's gonna be Entombed Valley yet. Oh no, we haven't seen Entombed Valley yet. Excuse me.
No, we haven't.
And it is gonna be Bunny from Vega playing their Terran.
Okay, so it will be another Terra versus Protoss matchup. We did
Yes.
see that in the first game with Vega coming out behind in that match.
But,
Can they reverse it around with the Terran winning for them this time?
Yeah, perhaps they're saving the Zergs for last.
Yeah, they might. That is very true. It might be the case that they're hoping that having 4 Zergs in a row, that their opponent will just obviously be worn down, and can take it for them.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Vega might be saving up. Team Megashock might be saving up all their Zerg specialists for last.
Yes, yeah. As you said, they have a Terran and a Zerg ready themselves behind. Okay, both players and the casters are ready to go, so we're going to get this game on the way.
Okay, so we jump back into our game on
In-
MLG Entombed Valley.
Talking about the emoji, we've just seen it. Obviously, TVP.
I was so impressed by Flashman. So
Unbelievable how well he played.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, obviously, going back to our current 6PoolGaming League, we do have the orange Protoss in the top right-hand corner. His name is Loco, and he's from Team Megashock.
Yes, and on the bottom right, his opponent from Team Vega, it's Bunny, the blue Terran.
And so, what I like to see, what I like about Into Valley is it does really tend, like Whirlwind, to try and turn it into a macro game. 3 bases can be taken, relatively easy for Protoss, relatively well defended, especially in this position where your third is kind of will be, for the Terran where he is currently positioned, away from their army. They will have to kind of pass the Protoss army to get to the third. When it's army versus army, obviously drops will be different. But it will tend towards, with the positions of the players, towards a macro game.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to see, what kind of composition do you feel that the Protoss will go for in this match? Do you think it will be High Templar start, or do you think it will be Colossus open? Obviously, one or the other usually is chosen.
It's so hard to call. I mean, I don't know what Loco's playstyle is
against
in this matchup.
Yes.
So yeah,
I think on this matchup, I'd probably prefer. I think I'd like to see High Templar open.
yeah. I always like to see High Templars open. I'm a big fan of them, but yeah, you never
just
know.
think
Some
that
people are just
obviously-
more comfortable with a Colossus opener. It just
Yeah.
depends on comfort rather than yeah.
personal viewing.
Yeah.
But I think no. The reason I think is this because with the Terran obviously wanting to do a lot of damage during the early mid game against Protoss.
Mhm.
I think High Templar Open is if there's any kind of micro mistakes, you can really capitalize as Protoss with Storm, with feedback on the medevacs. That could really be the difference in the game at this stage, where where Terran does have to force the issue almost.
Well, as you say, the mid game, that's what it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
For now, we'll just have to wait and see what both players do. We see a 1 rack 6 pound going up from Bunny. Very standard.
Indeed. And the pylon at the back of the base makes me feel like he's going to lose some. He wants to hide some tech there later on.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. Something funky.
Yeah, DTs.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, very possible. It could be something as outside zany as that. And
Yeah,
it doesn't get away.
Well, I'm a big fan of placing my tech a bit closer to the ramp, because you usually get dropped either behind your mineral line or in the corner of the base.
Yes. Of the main where
You wanna,
both
you wanna put your tech in the least vulnerable position so it doesn't get sniped by a drop if you don't pay attention for a second or something. But we see the SCV makes it back home. Bunker finishes just in time before the Zealot can do anything, and it will be fine. Nice
And as you saw, they didn't actually put themselves in the bunker because it was just a Zealot. So he was hoping the Zealot would try and move up there. Obviously, then he can just micro the Marines and kill that Zealot. That 3 Marines is enough to kill that Zealot. And now he's going to move out with 4 Marines. And the Stalker's actually on waypoint, it looks like.
Yeah, it is. So
it's not now. Careful. Yes, has to be careful there if he could get caught.
And
I do like that. He's not putting them in the bunker. He's leaving them on the outside, and he can put them in if needs be. Otherwise,
yeah, he can micro the weak ones back into the bunker so they don't get killed. Second gas going up, 2 gates following. All very, very, very standard opener from both players.
Yeah, indeed. And second bunker going down here. Kind of surprised that the second bunker is actually going down because his opponent he hasn't actually scouted his opponent's taken another base. But we are going to see 3-gate robo follow up to this. So at the moment, it looks like
it doesn't necessarily indicate Colossus play.
No.
But yeah, I think the odds are still 50-50. It can be just used for observers.
Yes. High ground vision, warp ins on the obviously where that depot is there. It's just a spot in his natural. It's just a spot any pylons around the base.
And you can also see incoming coming to that back door. Because if you see the positioning, that backdoor path is a viable option if you get unscouted.
And the pylon at the third, again, just for timings. All the Protoss is doing here is just trying to get as much information as possible as to when his opponent is going to be taking his third, when his opponent's going to be moving out.
Yeah, and it's going to be when will they take the third bases?
Yes.
It's going to matter now. Or what is Terran going to do with his first few medivacs? Is he actually getting... Yeah, it actually looks like he's setting up for a +1 timing with his first medivacs.
And we do see the Robo Bay going down, so it is going to be Colossus here.
There we go. There's our confirmation. We don't want to make preemptive calls.
No, I was hoping for High Templar, but I'm bitterly disappointed. I'm not going to lie. No, it's fine. We do see the turret going up at the natural as well, so that's obviously just to stop the observer scouts and also DTs into the main. As much as possible for either, really. But what I do like to see is we're going double tech lab off of 3 barracks. So I think it will turn into the upgrades will be done quicker, slightly faster.
Yeah. So we can
also more heavily marauder based later on.
Yeah, so it's push as soon as it arrives. It might have combat shields. Perhaps it's timed like that. We'll have to wait and see.
I think you're right. I think it'll be very close. Combat shields Won't be done when the medevacs will be done, but they'll be done, I suspect, when they get across the map.
But the first Colossus is on the way for Loco, and that should keep him safe from a frontal attack. But is he going to be prepared enough for a potential drop, or a double drop perhaps?
Yeah, no, that's very true. I'm unsure as to whether or not whether he will actually have enough, because his actual ground army at the moment isn't very large.
Yeah, look at Bunny's army. It's pretty beefy, to be honest. It's
a
pretty strong army.
Yeah, double, as you said, medevac, 2 marauders, a ton of marines, and stim plus combat shields will be done.
Yeah, together with concussive shells. So there we go. Now it's going to be the question. He's going to send a factory into the Protoss, his base, just to check out what's going on, where is his army positioned, is there an opportunity for me to drop?
And he's just scans in time and sees what he's got, and there's the double drop.
Oh, but
he's going to move it right across.
That's
really
very
like that.
smart. That was a very, very... Yeah, it was a risky play, but could have paid off though.
It could, yeah, because obviously the force
the response time from Loco was really good on the force field.
Yeah, and losing both those medevacs there has really put the Protoss back ahead here.
I really liked what our Terran player Bunny tried to do there, but unfortunately for him, the response from Loco was way too good.
Yeah, really spot on.
And he might lose his factory even.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to go down.
Loco follows the standard rule: you defend against the Terran push and expand.
And I think he's going to put some counter pressure on. But we do see 2 medevacs going down. Submarine, obviously, it looks like I suspect we'll see some bunkers going down pretty soon. No, no, bunkers won't be down if he does put any down here.
I think his army is still large enough.
There
we go, the bunkers.
Yeah. And if he pushes now, though, is he going to just push to the 3rd? That wouldn't be a bad option here, just to push to the 3rd.
Yeah, and he knows this, and he lifts up the 3rd fast enough. The stalkers go in and try to put some pressure on that.
The thing is, the factory's gone down, so he now can't make a second starport here, which I bet he feels like he needs to do because he is floating minerals here. And I think, exactly, a second starport would definitely be necessary, but that factory has been killed, so
It's 2 Colossus though. If he sets up a good flank, he still might be able to snipe it. He's now just baiting the force field out and...
single file in those units through, and then another good force field.
He did some damage though on that Colossus, and that one Colossus might fall.
No,
nice micro there.
Yeah,
very nice control.
Very solid micro there. But he has pushed him back for now. But even so, I feel like this is still in the favour of the Protoss, because he now has his 3rd up. The Stalker is the 3rd of his opponent.
Yeah, but the Stalker will be taken out.
Well, there's still no factory, so a second starport can't be added. He can't be adding into any tech, for any further tech in that for those upgrades, because off of 1 starport against the three base Protoss, he just won't have enough Vikings or medevacs to have for his.
Yeah, I feel he has to make a choice now. Either roll with a lot less medivacs, because he doesn't have that option to produce a lot of air units and anti-air.
Yes.
And with 4 Colossus on the map now, that's gonna cause an issue. Unless he can absolutely get a good concave, and Colossus aren't super strong if you get a good concave up. And it's all gonna come down to that.
I think the Protoss will be willing to move into this. The area effect damage that he can do with 4 Colossus against this bio army.
Yeah, and there's not enough medivacs to heal the bio up.
Oh, no, exactly. He keeps full stimming. He's not small stimming his little bits of his army. It's full stim, and as you said, 2 medevacs. There's no energy left on those medevacs now. Yeah. If there's an engagement now, he's going to be really in trouble. And it's still just 1 starport. I'm surprised he hasn't realised his mistake here. He's got his Ghost Academy up though, so obviously he's going to try and get. And here comes the big push. And so I'm just waiting to see how this can progress here, because not only that, it's 2-2 for his opponent versus 0-1 for.
But he is getting 5 ghosts now, and Will EMP make a difference here?
Be the difference. There is an observer with the Protoss army. It will all about can he snipe that observer, but the upgrades are really the difference as well.
Yeah,
it's now 1-1 versus 2-2.
Yeah, and we have 2-1 finishing up for the Terran. So it's only one upgrade difference
now,
in favor of the Protoss. But the Protoss is taking now a fort base behind this.
And then that will start. His economy will start to kick in, and he can then start trading properly because
even the Protoss is just having a dominant map presence and has High Templars on the map already with Storm about to finish up. So is he just gonna wait for 3-3 and then just go really aggressive? You think?
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be a bad timing because obviously they're both maxed out. 3-3, he's going to be ahead, and 3-3 isn't far away now. About 50 seconds away from being finished.
You will see good EMPs. There's a good Templar spread.
Yeah, as you said, a very solid Templar spread. Gets one solid EMP off. But here comes the move, and that's just not enough Vikings there. But there's he's having to micro his force back here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because he still has a lot of ground army and it's mainly Marauders.
No, there's just not enough here. The Vikings are going to kill that. No, yes, those do go down, and then it's just one medevac. And now it's all about the resupply. That was a very solid engagement for both players.
Yeah, that was a very good blink, yes. Very good blink on sniping that ghost right there, if you saw it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Obviously, I think he would have won. The Protoss there was really trying to wait for 3-3. The Terran has just interrupted that with a solid push before that.
Yeah, and now will they switch into full Templar production, or we just like add another Robo perhaps and go double Robo production? Cause his opponent doesn't have that much Vikings, so he can make his Colossus more efficient. Here we see Fort Terran right now.
And now the factory's being made because I think he's only just realised, or he must have only just realised that he's so far. He's only got the one starport, and now this Remax is really going to hurt him here.
And look how the Protoss is positioning right now. He's setting up an attack towards that fort base.
Yeah, and we're just waiting to see.
Yeah, the EMPs need to be good here from Bunny.
It is going to be 3-3 versus 2-1 as well in terms of upgrades, and 3-2 is not going to be ready for this push.
No. I don't think. Yeah. As I said, it's all gonna come down to the EMPs. It's only one Colossus though, so with good control, with good micro, he will perhaps be able to take it, but we see a Zealot run by.
Yeah, a Zealot run by into the natural, but there's quite a good SimCity there, but it's still gonna get a lot of stuff into that third.
Yeah, look at the concave Loco has set up there, and the Zealots go into the natural, doing a lot of damage right there.
And there's just not enough Marines. It's having to pull back quite a bit of an army here to deal with these Zealots.
Yeah, and this would be a great timing to move in for a Protoss player while he's microing against all these Zealots.
And now it's only just being cleared up now, but we do see 16 workers going down there.
Yeah.
And now the Protoss is actually just outside of range, and I think he's just trying to get a good position, and he's getting a good position here. At the third, he's going to block it off here between the.
But the flank is possible here for the Terran. Can he get the EMPs he wants off though?
I just don't think he has enough.
EMPs all Templars though.
Some good blink back there to let the charge shots through.
Very good EMPs. Oh, nice storm landing there, and it just looks like he doesn't have enough.
No, just doesn't have enough here. I think the upgrades are the actual difference here with 3-3 plus 1 shields as well.
Yeah, I think the Stalker count is now just too big, and there goes the GG.
Vega Bunny going down there to Loco, who is now 2 killed. Here's the team Vega so far, and it will be 3-2. Wow, so interesting game there because. Obviously, we did see the early push from the Terran, but it just didn't do enough, damage. And because of that, you could definitely see the Protoss took advantage of that, going up, really getting this economy set up here to do as much damage as possible. And yeah, I'm very surprised at how solid that was by the Protoss player there, Loco, and he looked very, very strong. Obviously, TVP and PvP winning quite convincingly, I'd say, in both games. And it's going to be quite interesting to see what Team Megashock, Vega Bunny, his team are going to do here. Are they going to send out a Protoss? Are they going to send out another Zerg? Or are they going to send out a Terran? They've got one Zerg and one Terran left, and 4 Protosses. So it could be interesting to see what they are going to go from here now.
Does look like Dirk's just popped to the toilet, I do believe. Believe it or not.
Indeed. Okay, so we are obviously waiting to see who they're going to choose. Jay, what do you feel is a map choice here is worthy? I think with how Loco has played, I think it's going to have to be a Zerg opponent.
I was going to say right now, they have no option. It's going to have to be a Zerg to send out against.
Yeah, they only
Loco.
have a Zerg roster remaining, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it's got to be done, and not only that, because he has gone against 2 other matchups. So it'll be interesting to see how well he performs against Zerg. Whether or not it's each of us has a race that they aren't necessarily preferable to or have trained less against, and it could be the case that Zerg is this race for Loco, and Vega are going to have to hope that obviously the Zerg they do send out does start to win them some games, because they are 3-2 down now, and it is getting towards this crunch time.
Yes, indeed. So it's gonna be a PvZ. That's my guess.
Oh, that female intuition that you've got there, Derek.
Thanks.
No problem, sir. Okay, so yes, moving swiftly on. PvZ, the Megashock are 3-2 up here. Now, I think they'd be very pleased with that. Obviously, losing the last 2 games against Vega.
It was close, though. I mean,
yes, it has been.
Loco played well, but the micro of Bunny, I mean,
really
if he did more damage in the mid game,
yes.
I think the game might have been the other way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that the Terran's micro there was really strong. He had an upgrade deficiency, a less supply count, and yet it looked really close at one point in that middle of that first really big engagement.
Yeah, it would have been so cool if the double medivac drop on top of the Colossus would have worked. That would have been so cool.
I think as soon as he lost that 22 supply or whatever it was, it really put him behind. Both medivacs and all that supply.
Yeah, because he doesn't really have much to be aggressive with, because he's so scared for a counterattack. And yeah, it's hard for a turn to come back from it. But his EMPs were solid. He didn't eat that much storms, but if the storms hit, they did a lot of damage.
Yeah,
the storms were very well placed. So as you see in the final score, I mean, it's so close. It comes down to like a few differences, and yeah.
And guys, what do you think of what matches so far? Have you been happy with them? I think they've been really, really strong. I don't think you can really be unimpressed with anything that you've seen so far tonight. Every single choice has been, I think, spot on from both players. It's just all down to how well they can perform. Exactly.
Yeah, it's about small things, small choices, and
then deviate from each
so
other.
Another thing to note: what if he didn't lose his factory and got a second starport?
Exactly. Seriously, I think with that initial drop and that second starport and just not being there, him not being able to just build a lot of units much faster when he was when that second.
I feel what killed him there was not really the lack of Vikings, or the lack of control or whatever. It was a lack of medivacs.
Yeah, medivac.
He had 2 medivacs at most.
Yeah, for most of that game. And the thing is, after the initial massive trade that they had, they then moved obviously both trying to take a fourth. It was that then was the problem, because he just couldn't get enough medivacs and Vikings for that second trade-off to then be then cost efficient, as you said, healing with those medivacs.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing. And it was just too late. When he recognised it and watches the replay, he's going to be very annoyed with himself, because obviously he was adding a lot of barracks on, which is fine. Production-wise, that's absolutely no problem. But he needs those medivacs just as importantly to make the difference.
So yeah, the favor is now into Team Megashock, if I'm correct, right? It's 3-2 for Team Megashock.
It is indeed, and we are going to see Abyssal City as the map. Obviously a GSL map. We haven't seen it on the ladder as of yet.
Unfortunately. I really would like to see some more GSL maps being implemented on the ladder, like Abyssal City, like Whirlwind.
Yep.
It would be so much cooler. Which map would you remove actually, if you had the choice?
Condemned Ridge.
Yeah, but you can veto that, like.
Yeah, but I might. You would. Who actually likes Condemned Ridge as a map?
Yeah, they should bring back Metropolis as well.
Yeah, I thought Metropolis was a fine map. I really didn't see the issue with Metropolis.
I
can understand why Zerg didn't like it very much.
I would remove Shakuras as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Antigua.
Well, Zerg won't be happy with that. I can understand why you would want that to change.
Of course.
I can see why Metropolis actually was taken. Metalopolis was taken away.
No, yeah, but Metropolis got taken out because there were FPS issues on the latter version. But
yeah. I'm pretty sure they resolved that. At least for the GSL version, it's been resolved. Whether or not their ladder edition version.
Yeah, and MLG version as well.
Yeah.
All you have to do is remove the island to make it viable, and there was like some lightning from the in-game. Like you see, like random effects and stuff.
Okay, well both players are ready to go, so let's get this game started, Nova, and I'm really interested to see how this will turn out.
Indeed. Alright, so...
Okay, yeah. So, Abyssal City, I think this is a really, really good map. From what I've played a few custom games in this. I haven't obviously played anything on the ladder as of yet, but I think this is a really good map because of how you can take your bases, but also how you have to defend your main and your natural. I think, in both senses, it's quite a large gap between your main and your fort. There's a lot of space.
Yeah. I haven't played the map actually, I haven't seen it in a while, but what I see from the minimap is like you can get an easy 3 base.
Yes.
But the fourth is in the pocket as well, but it's so far away from the third, so you kind of have to make that decision. Like.
Well, the fourth is only one gas. That pocket you're talking about. The other fourth is like in the middle of the map, like at the very edge of the ramp. That's the more used fourth.
Yeah, or at the top left or the bottom right.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's quite interesting because of how drop play. Obviously, there's no Terran in this map, but how drop play would work, but also how observer blinkins into the main would work here. As harass, because that's quite viable. You don't have to necessarily, as a Protoss here, going army versus army, because you could probably blink in 2 different locations here.
That's true. And
to do damage.
But yeah, as for a Zerg, it looks like a really nice map for Zerg, although there's a lot of like tight areas though.
Yeah, for good force fields for Protoss.
Yeah, with good force fields, perhaps a timing is possible. I don't know. I don't know if these 2 people are actually familiar with this map. Like, have they practiced it?
Yes.
We don't know all that, so perhaps they have prepared builds
for map-specific uses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting to see who will obviously take the advantage. I'm hoping to see Vega come back into it and go to 3-all. So we do. Oh, just quick lag from one of our observers. We do see in the 9 o'clock position. He is the Zerg player. His name is Vega Dana.
Yes, and on the opposite side, on the 3 o'clock position, we have his opponent. It's again our Orange Protoss from Team Megashock. It's Loco.
Yes. So I'm really interested to see how this would actually turn out, because as you said, neither of us have played it enough to really know what the favoured map choice is. But it's such a big map. I think that Forge Fast expands. Okay, yeah, there you go. The pylon goes down for Protoss. Forge Fast expand is going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Forge Fast expand or die, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I'm just waiting to see if it's going to be pool first or hatch first. I suspect we'll see 14 pool.
Yeah, 14 pool, 16
Possibly.
hatch would be a standard opener.
Yeah, obviously it is quite a large map, so I can see why that he might try and go for 14 hatch. But there is the pool going down, which is fair enough.
He doesn't want to take any risk with that probe hanging around this natural, and he's of course going forge first. He will scout that soon. But yeah, it's always just safer to go pool first. You don't want to get cannon rushed, you know.
Yeah, and not only that, it just puts you on a little bit of edge. You then have to start, it just ruins your whole build, really.
Yeah.
And the Protoss is going to obviously try and deny this expansion for as long as possible.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to pylon block it as long as he denies it long enough with the probe. But he's opting for the pylon block, and
yeah, he can obviously cancel it later on. I suspect it will just be for delay purposes.
Yes. And now he's aiming to take the Nexus, as expected.
He doesn't delay, he doesn't cancel it. I'm surprised he didn't cancel it and just, remake it per se.
Yeah, and now he sees the second drone come out, and is he gonna try and camp near a possible third?
And as you can see, that pocket third, where you can go down, only has one gas. So it's not the favoured base to be taken, it's the one that's in the bottom left-hand corner for Zerg. It was actually the favoured map choice.
Yeah, and he opts to go for the second pylon, then the cannon, and a very delayed gate.
Yep. But as opponents only at the moment got the fallings, I don't see anything but just the scout. Obviously, he's made sure he's got he's taken his expansion.
Yeah, and he has perfect vision with the Overlord over there, over the little construction site.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, can it be seen? Yeah, and then
for now, but over here it can't be seen. It's a bit like you have the same thing on Cloud Kingdom.
Yes,
yeah, the high ground thingy over there. So the Zerg will see what will happen. He can't see if that's why I like the position with the forge towards the ramp. The Zerg can't see if he's upgrading, yes or no, if he's chrono boosting the forge to perhaps do some timing, to some pressure with +1 zealots maybe. So that's information that the Zerg doesn't know.
And I think we'll see a third being taken here as well.
Yeah, we should see a third from Zerg sometime soon, or Izzy perhaps, to go more two-base play.
Well, I think I'm not sure if I actually like that very much, just on this map, purely because of the way the position is of the ramp from the main to the natural. You can have stuff on the high ground and defend as well, and I think it just makes it very tough for like a Roachling or a Roach Baneling push to be very effective because of how the high ground can be used defensively with cannons as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm still waiting to see whether or not that probe has gone out just to see if a third has been taken. And I think he's going to scout it and see that it hasn't been as of yet at 6 minutes.
Yeah, and that's always a bit of a suspicious position to be in as Protoss. And we see a layer going up.
Okay, so 6 minute layer. We haven't seen any gases added. I want to see if 2 gases get added now. I wouldn't be, and there's 2 gases on the natural being added.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a Roach Warren got very soon and some very early pressure.
Or Mutalisks?
Maybe Mutalisk double Evo chamber has gone up. The fourth gas gets taken. Could it be Mutalisks? Wow, that's very interesting.
It's a good map for it though.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the Stalkers have to travel a very long distance to defend both inner lines.
He's gone 1 gate robo with double forge. I really like this interesting build here.
Yeah, it's a very economic build. And very upgrade focused.
The third is going to go down for the Zerg player here. The gases are being taken though. So are we going to... I still think we're right. I think we might see some Mutalisks play here.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that we see Mutalisks. But we also see double upgrades incoming, and it's going to be for melee and armor.
Infestation fit. So he's going 3 base infestors.
Yeah,
interesting. Very
pretty strong.
Yeah, and obviously with no lings being made, he can really tech and drone up quite quickly into that. And the Roach Warren goes down. So Roach and Infestors being a possibility here.
Yeah, but I think the Roach Warren for now is just in case.
Yeah.
He gets under attack, and the Zealot from local is going to just scout out around this third. Is there an Overlord? Are there some links? Scouting it out. And it looks like Loco is aiming to take his third, just because of that.
Yeah, he has got some money. As you said, he is saving up the money for necessarily taking a third. Or could it be the Twilight Council's going up now? So there is a possibility on this map for run-bys. And I was just wondering if we're going to see some proxy pylons around the map, just purely for the fact that obviously they can be used to move in and do harass later on.
Yeah. He's... Well, I'm gonna be a bit surprised. What is he gonna... Is he gonna do something with these early infestors? Or is he just gonna use them for defensive purposes?
Would you think it could be just for denying the third for as long as possible?
Perhaps.
Just trying to keep doing as much economic damage and trading at the third for as long as possible. We do see a push out with one.
Yeah, just a lot of sentries and and an immortal. But
and it is going to be scouted.
Yeah, I don't think this is a committed push though. He has.
Oh. He just moved out to take the watchtower and then he's moving back in. So.
Yeah, it's just a fake move out to perhaps force some units from our Zerg player. And let's have a quick look at the worker count. It's 58 probes against 68 drones. So a 10 worker lead for Zerg. Always a nice spot to be in. And the first infestors are on the way.
Yeah, with some lings obviously moving out.
2-2 on the way. The upgrades wise I think they're pretty even. Of course the Protoss with that chrono boost is a bit ahead. And we see a nice wall-off going up at the third.
Yeah, the wall-off, as you said, is very solid at the third there. I'm just trying to see what this timing is, because you do see some roaches coming out as well. And is it going to be a put pressure at the third here? I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to try to apply some pressure, but we have the Temple Archives on the way for our Protoss player, and he's moving into position now. And there are 3 ways now for our Zerg player to pressure. At the rocks, the big ramp, and at the third.
Yeah.
And he has some links positioned to perhaps do exactly that.
A ling run by, yeah, exactly that. Oh wow, is he going to get just a big transfer of some units there? But they are moving in.
Oh, he's going for the flank, trying to already force some force fields and nice feedback on the infestor, yeah.
But well defended there by the Protoss. Not losing any probes, just trading armies.
Yeah, not losing any sentries as well, very important.
Yeah.
And we see Hive Tech and the Spire.
So, obviously, I think he has scouted his opponent's army there. Not very Sorga heavy. No Colossus being made as of yet. Going into Spire, obviously, in preparation for Brutal Tech, I assume.
Yeah.
Well, and the fourth being taken now. I suspect we'll see both gases being taken straight away.
Yeah, we should see the extra gases from the Zerg. I mean, he could even take that, is it a high vest? Is it a rich Vestrian gaser? No, it's just a normal one at the pocket.
The Overseer does see everything there. He even sees the Templar Archives with Storm being made. So, everything is being seen. The Overseer that moves into the main.
Yeah, with the feedbacks going on, he probably could have expected that Storm might be on the way. But
yes.
I think our Protoss player needs to start thinking, did he scout a hive actually? That's the big question here. Let's quickly have a look at the vision of Loco. No, he doesn't even know.
All the Spire? Does he know about either? No, he doesn't.
No,
okay, so...
all he knows is that there's a hatchery in the main, not even a lair. So he's a bit in the dark about how far or how fast the development of the tech of his opponent is going, and that might cause an issue for him if he doesn't prepare soon enough for a mothership. Cause
yep. We do see the extra gateways going down, but as you said, there's no Stargate in being produced as of yet. So Fleet Beacon and Mothership is going to be a long way away, whereas now that the Spire has been made, it's being instantly morphed into Greater Spire. And the thing is, the Protoss hasn't really done a lot of damage to the Zerg. He's kind of let him get to full base, quite easily. There hasn't been any pylons out on the map. There hasn't been any warp prison play. Nothing really to suggest. Oh, and he does get one good feedback off there. Dies in response to that, but one solid feedback.
Yeah, and it's not just a position game. He needs to really wait for his Broodlords. He can sacrifice small units, small groups of units and a nice storm goes down on the roaches.
Yeah. But those infestors are still at the back.
And that is
he's gonna
one
get
scary
caught.
army.
Oh, and they've moved out.
A nice fungals on the sentries. Will all the sentries fall here?
And it is a 2-2 army versus a 3-2 army. With those, I think, with those more immortals and in the.
Ooh, he didn't pick up that infestor. The infestor gets away with like 1 HP, regenerating now.
Oh wow, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That is a boss infestor right there. But as you can
Yes,
see,
indeed.
the Zerg remaxes almost instantly here.
Yeah, and I think he just wants to just play safe. He has enough spine crawlers at his fort base, and is Protoss really thinking about moving out? Because there's still no Stargate on the way for him. We don't see any corruptors though.
Exactly. And oh, they're kind of pocket moving in, and that's not a bad concave though. And look at all those
very strong
fungals.
concave for the Zerg player here, and Infestors being added, Infestors being pulled back,
just
and
not enough units here.
now the Immortals providing so much cover against the roaches.
And all these spines obviously moving just for the defense there. And I'm just trying to see where the 5th can be taken for the Zerg. Is it going to be this small 5th base?
But the Greater Spire is done for a while now, and where are those Corruptors?
Yeah, Corruptors, and then
He has gas to make them. But he's just very, very scared for this attack from Protoss, and look how much Stalkers. That's just an insane amount of Stalkers.
And again, he needs to get those fungals down, but some good blink play there.
Yeah, very, very cool blink play. It's
And he's
moving
going to
in,
get those
sniping
infestors.
sniping infestors, blinking towards the spines, but still a very good trade for Protoss here. And yeah, it's just gonna go for it with just blink immortal. We now see 5 corruptors on the way, but will it be too late? That's the question. Because he lost a few infestors.
And he's going to move down at the 4th here.
Yeah, and I think this fort is done for it. The Zerg army is totally out of position. If he moves in, that is. And there he goes, letting the
He's going to move in.
immortals.
And it's all going to be all about how well those fungals are.
The top.
Yes. But I think the Stalker count is just too high. And not only that, the Roaches are at 3-0 compared to the Stalkers that are 3-3. And I think that is going to be a big difference here.
Yeah, he needs more links. 5 Broodlords on the way though, will they be able to make the difference?
But there's so many Stalkers there, I just don't see how they're going to be held. There's just not the Infestor count or the Broodlord count to really be the difference.
And while all this aggression is happening, Protoss is taking a base at the top.
Yeah.
Taking down the base of Zerg, but the Broodlords are out now. Will they be able to make the difference here?
And where is the mothership? That was the other thing I was going to say.
Yeah, there is no Stargate. There is no Stargate. There is no fleet beacon. So if he can get a high enough Broodlord count with enough infestors and links to support it, it might still be turned around. But he has to be careful with his Broodlords. So there we go.
And here comes the bush.
Blink forward.
And all that blink forward, and it's just doing too much damage right underneath the Broodlords, and they're going to go down.
Yeah, a very, very nice control with the blink stalkers and the links. Are they enough? The links doing a lot of damage though.
Yeah, lots of damage.
Protoss supply is just plummeting here, and
not only that, but the 4th was taken out, and then these links are coming back to defend.
yeah, and more infestors are joining and losing those broodlords. So, but the links are running towards the. Oh, the 4th got cancelled.
Yeah, the 4th got cancelled during that.
And look at.
And we're seeing infestors. Are those
Yeah.
infestors waypointed badly? I think they have been.
I think the infestors are waypointed badly. Yeah,
That's definitely a mistake. Yeah, that's definitely a mistake there.
and he's gonna maybe have, need them, and all Archons are morphing.
He's just trying to get that unit composition up, but I still believe that that mothership is needed to actually win this engagement.
Oh, are those 5 stalkers gonna?
Wow, they get the
4
cancel.
stalkers. No,
Sorry, they
no
don't
cancel.
get the cancel. Yeah, don't get the cancel even.
That hurts. So it's still 3 base against 3 bases, and it's such a rough spot. I think the Zerg should try to take the pocket fort with the 1 gas geyser. At least it's something.
Yeah, and we're going to see the run in here, and he's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and with these 3-3 links with adrenal glands, this base might fall. Oh, he decides not to.
Oh wow, yeah, is he going to go for the base? Yeah, he needs to kill that base.
Yeah, he can definitely kill this base, and that's,
Yeah, and that's
very
gonna go
annoying
down.
spot for Protoss.
And now he's going to attack the Protoss' units, and there's got a lot of these going to go down as well.
Yeah, Protoss
We are
is
gonna
just
see the
mined
work-
out in the natural, man. Protoss has no income.
So yeah, you're very right. And now
Protoss is all in.
that's it. Everything's coming. So now it's just the Zerg just needs to defend. And look how many infestors there
Yeah,
are there.
that's 15, or more even. And infestors are
almost
what's gonna
all
win in
energy.
this game, I think. If we can fungal long enough. Because look, probes are being brought.
Everything's all in here.
Yeah.
Oh no, what?
He still has a lot of... Look at the reinforcement at the pocket fort, though. They need to join this...
Is it going to be the flank? Are we going to see the flank here?
I think it's gonna be used for a flank.
Oh no, that infestor's going to move back out and he gets caught again.
Ah, poor infestor. Infestor turns being thrown up as for defensive measure, and I think the Protoss knows the clock is ticking, and... Oh,
He needs
another
to move
infestor
in.
perhaps? Yeah, nice snipe again.
As you said, it's a 160 supply army against a 199, and it's an all-in 160 supply as well. Whereas the Zerg is long, even though he's long distance mining, he's still mining.
Yeah. Mining is it's so good.
Exactly.
More spines being added, and the Zerg knows his third base is all he needs to defend right now.
Indeed. And he's just trying to get the right concave, that's the thing.
And he doesn't really want to engage into these spine crawlers.
He still has his lings at the top.
And he's going for it.
And there's the move in. Yep. And everything. Look at all that. Those fungals though.
Yeah, excellent play in the flank from the top. Excellent.
And yeah, the flank comes in the top, and I think
That's
the
the
supply is
evil
just disappearing.
Yeah, there we go. Very smart.
Very solid play.
Yeah, very smart counter at the top, and yeah, Protoss didn't have a full wall up there and not enough cannons to defend it. He didn't even see it incoming because he didn't have vision of the tower. So yeah.
Just very solid play there, I think, from the Zerg player. The problem was, I think he was not interrupted there, and just was allowed to kind of macro up. There was there was no warp prison play, nothing to really for the Zerg to do to try and have to defend.
Yeah, so Vega equalized, right?
3-all, yeah.
Yeah, 3-all. It's a close series. I mean, all the games have been extremely close, and yeah, this game was, yeah, same story.
Yeah. I'd love to see who they bring out now, because as you said, it is 3-all. But who do you think has been more impressive so far? Is in the two
I'm
teams?
impressed by both sides. They
Yeah.
had both sides had really good games, and yeah, I'm curious because let's quickly have a look at the roster from Team Megashock. They still have a Zerg remaining, a Terran, and then it's all Protosses for them.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, move into.
All right, and it looks like we're gonna have a short break, 5 minutes, but we're not gonna leave. We're just gonna stay here, right, Neil?
Yep. Of course, why not? I do love the sound of your voice, so therefore I will stay.
Come on, man. Everyone's listening.
I know, right? I'll put you on mute then. Okay, fine.
All right. So, how is the chat enjoying these games?
Well, personally, yeah, I think there's a lot to be admired from both of these players.
Yeah, but what could our Protoss player actually have done better in this last game?
Well,
Or do you want me to answer this question?
no, I think you're right. I think the problem is his upgrades were very solid. He got early upgrades, obviously going one. He went one gate robo, I do believe, in with double forge. So obviously, really depending on those upgrades to do some damage. And it looked like it was going to be 3-base kind of play to deny that fourth. And at one point in the game, he did look like he had the advantage, killing the fourth, trying to take his own. But the problem was he just didn't defend his fourth very well, I don't feel.
Well, the Protoss... Well, sorry to cut you off there, but
that's
the
fine.
Protoss killed the fourth of Zerg. And Zerg had Broodlords right there. The Protoss was taking his fort at the same time, but didn't defend it well enough, didn't place any cannons whatsoever right there to defend that, so he had to cancel it with the first incoming links. And that's... Plus, that might have cost in the game by not going for more eco and then losing his third and having no income. But what also might have cost him the game is when the 5 Broodlords were up, he blinked a lot of Stalkers under it. The Broodlords didn't do much. But it was 3-3 Lynx with Adrenal Glands hitting away at all the Stalkers, while the Stalkers are trying to kill those Broodlords, like really like trying to focus them. And the Lynx there made the difference.
Yeah.
Like his supply plummeted from 180 to 130, while the Zerg just stayed up. And that's where Lynx in the late game become very, very cost efficient. But his problem was his army composition. It was like 3 Immortals and a lot of Stalkers. If he adds like the 6 to 8 High Templars in there, he can just storm the Lynx.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
He doesn't have that problem. And
I think it's interesting to see, obviously, Vega has a mainly Zerg roster now.
Yeah.
So, and Megashock, Team Megashock know this. So, it's real. They have to bring a player in. So they bring in their mainstay opponent who loves to play Zerg, who feels it's his best matchup. Or do they bring somebody else in for this game to see if he can win this game? Because if he can win this game, then their ace Zerg, like ace against Zerg, can come in to win the final game necessarily and win it as like a second lifeline. Or do they bring in their ace Zerg player now to try and win the game now?
yeah, but it's 3-3 now. Yeah, and
Yes,
we have 3 games remaining.
possibly.
It's a best of 9. Possible 3 games, definitely 2.
Yeah.
And it's all gonna I mean, the next players who's gonna come up, there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Obviously,
all gonna come down to what map are they gonna pick, which player, and how are they gonna play it out. You can
I
talk
think-
now.
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think you're right though. I think, as you said, there's a lot of pressure here, but not only just on the players, but on the tactical decisions. Because if say somebody, as I was saying a minute ago, the player who likes to play the big games, wants to come out, but it's chosen that say one of the other players who has a better matchup against Zerg decides to come, is chosen. It could be the case that obviously that could be the difference. Somebody who's really wanting to win this. Not saying that the players are, but is really feeling like it's going to be his day. He's the one that's going to win the game. Is chosen to be their back, their ace man. And I wonder if their ace has come out yet. What do you think? Do you think either player has shown their ace yet? Obviously, Loco showed some very strong games. Showtime, they're both winning 2 games each. But neither, obviously, no one as of yet is really taking it by the horns. Won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, but would you play your ace? So
Right now.
let's talk poker, yeah? So you have good cards. Are you gonna make the people on the table know you have good cards from the start, or are you gonna play them at the end?
But I think the way I would think about it is it's about winning first and making money second. So taking any edge over trying to win the most money is the thing, and I think that's what will happen here. I think they'll play their ace to try and win.
Yeah, to try and seal the deal and not put the pressure on for a possible ace match.
Exactly, because who wants to be in that situation where they have to win it to win it? In the final game, it has to be won.
Yeah.
No one wants to be in that situation. Nobody, very few people revel in that situation, being the one who has to win, all the pressure on them. So I think they'll put their ace match out now, their ace player, and try and win it for them.
Yeah, but so far it's been absolutely amazing games. No cheese, very interesting games, and we saw some great display from the players.
Exactly. Obviously, the Terran in the second game went for some kind of 2-gate open. 2 racks open, which is quite interesting. But getting scouted meant that he was really in trouble after that. So yeah, you're right. There's not been any cheese as such, which is good. A lot of macro games, and obviously, hopefully the players have enjoyed playing it, and the fans, you guys out there, really enjoyed watching it.
Well, I bet they will.
I would.
The games
if I was here.
Yeah, I would enjoy the games. I mean,
I have enjoyed the games. I can tell you because I'm here telling you it.
Ah, really?
Yeah, I know, right? Surprise.
We're just waiting for our match now to be set up. The last I read was the player was AFK, so bear with us. We'll get going again soon. So, yeah. But soldiers in the chat is saying, I root for every Zerg. Come on,
Well,
soldiers.
yeah, really.
So, yeah. What to do now?
I'm,
No,
I'm just, I'm just.
Yeah.
I think it's just been really good, to be honest. The best of 9 series, and it's gone to 3-all. So it's just going to be really interesting to see how it can go from here.
Huh. But seeing all these players play, I mean, so much attention. Wish I had a team.
I know, right? I bet I can tell you're probably thinking, I just need to play 10 hours a day and I'll get to GM. I don't know how many. I honestly though, I think that's the thing. It's all about trying to.
Well,
You know,
it's
just
about
do the best you can.
consistency. It's all about consistency. You can be everybody can be a good player. It's all about how consistent you are and how fast your learning curve is. Other people have more, like, talent, as they say. Like, they just play games better. It's just a fact. But look at it like football. You can still be a good player by good practice.
Agreed. So we are going to have. It looks like TMSK Acro versus the Zerg player Dana on Metropolis.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Really good map. So
And anyway, while we're having this downtime, I like to give a shout out to Zeke, the ones who set up this awesome tournament. This is only the round of 16, guys. There's more coming. And
Yeah,
also,
there is.
big shout out to 6PoolGaming for sponsoring this event by a big $1,000, which is pretty big. And as DJ put, our soldiers put out in the chat over there, that's how the prize will be divided. 600 for first place, 250 for second, and 150 for third place. And so it's gonna be Metropolis. I'm quickly gonna check what race Accra is.
Acro, yeah.
Acro.
Yep. All in good time. Hopefully it will be.
Acro is a Protoss, so it's gonna be another PvZ.
Interesting. I suspect we'll see some something. I think he's definitely going to be prepared for this. That's the thing. They're bringing him out now. There'll be something he's going to be prepared for, because obviously, as we've said, it's an important match. Both teams want to go 4-3 up going into the next game. This is probably the most important match of so far.
Yeah.
And so both teams are going to be very specific.
Yeah, don't forget, whoever wins this match,
this
upcoming match, is only one match away from winning.
Exactly.
And then the pressure is on the other team. Then the other team has to step it up. They have to win 2 in a row, or they're out. It's that simple. But we're not there yet. We first have to wait and see how this game plays out, and then we'll know a winner. Well, our possible winner. What am I saying? I'm really just so excited for this next game. I'm really hoping we can jump into it fast.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it will go down, to be quite honest.
But it's going to be on the previously on Metropolis. Metropolis, I think, is a really fine map choice.
Well, again, it's another. All 3 of the last maps have been chosen because they're big maps. We've had Whirlwind, Entombed Valley, for the TVP, and then we've just had obviously Abyssal City, another big map, 3 base plus map. All of these maps have been, tending towards macro claims, and I like it because Metropolis is the same, and it's all about then your skill level into the late game. It can be the difference.
And I'm just checking the map pool as well, and I think the last 2 maps will be Atlantis Spaceship and Shakuras.
Atlantis Spaceship, not Antigua.
Shakuras. I don't think we have Antigua in our.
Fair enough.
Those are the 2 remaining maps after this. So, but for now, let's get going to our game.
Yeah.
So as we come back and catch the back end of the loading screen, Huh.
I'm really interested to see how this will go down. I've got a funny feeling we haven't, as of yet, as you said, seen anything funny, but I've got a funny feeling we're going to have something in this map. They are cross-boarding, and in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have the Zerg player. His name is Vega, and he won the last game.
Yes, and in the top spawning position, the top left, we have from Team Megashock, Acro, the
Indeed.
green Protoss.
So, I just have a funny feeling there'll be something different in this map, because there's got obviously every game so far has been going into a long game and being decided between the micro in the armies, and I feel one of these players is going to think, or the teams are going to decide that something's going to have to be taken to try and take a chance to win it. Either this game,
sometimes taking a risk is needed to do that, but it can also backfire though.
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. And I think it in this instance, as I think it will be this game that it won't be. It'll be the next game where one team's going to be 4-3 up. Both teams will be wanting to obviously get back into it, or to win it. And I think
this
tough.
game also has an important aspect for who gets. Oh no, never mind. I want to say who picks the final map, but I think the maps are already set.
Yeah.
They will have no other option, so the ace match won't be a final choice. It will just be one remaining map. But yeah, we just see a 14 pool from the Zerg and probably transitioning, well, taking the 16 hatch and Nexus first from the Protoss.
Just that will be the case.
Yes.
Yeah, I think definitely Nexus first and 17 Nexus.
Yes, that's gonna be really, really. It's greedy, but he can totally afford to be greedy on this map.
Indeed. So yeah, and they both know where each other are. I feel at the moment. Obviously, just good micro here from Macro to just stop the expansion for as long as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he moves away.
He denied it long enough. That's all that matters. If you go Nexus first, there's no real need to pylon block because it's just gonna delay your forge, and yeah, that's just annoying, you know.
Exactly that. And also then it just tends for the Zerg to try and do something maybe silly to because he knows
come with an all-in, but if the Zerg can just send his first 4 links and he can perhaps get in before you have a cannon, because it's gonna be very close on the cannon.
Yeah, he did go gateway first in this instance.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be close though. The Overlord scouts the cannon just went down, and will the links be able to do something? Will they be able to get into the main? I think the probe has it covered though. No, the probe does cover the cannon.
4 links will get in.
But the cannon might be denied.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And probes have to be pulled.
Yeah, the cannon's going to be denied here.
And these 4 links already doing the damage. That cannon didn't get cancelled.
We're going to see more links. Yeah, only 2 more links are coming out.
Yeah, and that's good enough. And it just delays. This is so annoying for a Protoss player.
And is he going to go and check again for the cannon? Because he could just keep. I'm surprised. Yeah,
he's going for it again.
Yeah, it makes sense to keep.
Yeah,
and now I think
decides to go into the main, and yeah, this one too much.
Can take 3 bases really quickly, or of a solid timing, because he knows that the.
Yeah, you can take 3 bases uncontested, really. The Protoss is already a bit delayed. The micro so far from our Zerg player has been really good. Like now, leaving that low HP link behind and just harassing the 3. Absolutely smart play from Dana here.
Exactly. And I like to see that there's no gases being taken as of yet. Nothing. It's literally all about droning up, just trying to do as much damage as possible.
Getting that max drone cast as fast as possible, and I can't emphasize how important these 4 links in the base are. But here comes the first Zealot, and now the links just have to run around. Just be as annoying as possible. And will this force Acro in perhaps doing some 2-base play, or I don't know.
Well, I think that's an interesting point you've raised there, because it has delayed him and he has had to cancel.
But he's delaying the 2-base push too, on the other hand, though.
True.
Yeah, it's.
But the thing is, obviously, he knows his opponent's most likely macroing up very hard behind this, and that he is going to be economically behind.
Well,
So
currently the drone count is 50 for the Zerg and 35 for the Protoss. So something has to happen though to stop this, because the Zerg is just going to be on max drones very, very shortly. Gets another drone, and here comes the Stalker. Gets 2 drones in the process though. So still a very cost-efficient trade. In total he killed only 3 workers, but he delayed a lot, and that's what matters.
And we do see double Evo at the 3rd. So this is very solid. Dana did this build, very similar build to this last game. Then they're taking all his gases, then adding an infestation pit. Do you think we'll see the same build again here?
Yeah, I think infestors are going to be a logical...
build.
Yeah, I think infestors will just be a logical follow-up for what he's doing right now. Or... is he thinking of something else? Because we see a very fast third now from Acro, a lot faster than before. Than the Protoss player who played last game. He took it around 9 minutes, 10 minutes. And... yeah.
Is that Overlord going to see it?
It could see it.
He doesn't see it yet. The Overlord doesn't actually see it yet. But he moves in with it, sees how quick that third is. As you said, he could decide to do some other play. And we see the macro factory going down.
Yeah, speed is also almost finishing. Do we see again double upgrades? Yeah, there we go.
Oh, and there's a Spire.
Yeah, and the Zerg is down 73 drones, which is a good amount for 3 bases.
Yeah, and taking this 4th at 9 minutes. Really, really nice, quick 4th. He realises, I think, he knows he can take the 4th now. He's going to go Spire, and he's going to go into a Mutalisk play. Seems to be, I suspect, a very strong option here. And a lot of Lings being produced here. 26.
Yeah, I love the Spire. That's a really, really good call.
Yeah, I'm just going to deny, or at least try and deny that base, which I think is a really good idea here. He's realised his opponent's going to be behind in terms of army.
And does his opponent have an observer on the map?
Look how many units he's got. He's got 3 Stalkers at the moment.
Oh, and the Lings get in. Force fields have to be used. And now just getting all the probes he can.
Yeah.
I think he can just take this army on, to be honest, with what he had. But now has to back off.
Yeah. Look at all these Lings that are massing together here. I think you're right. I think he could have just... And now he's just going to move in third. Right into the main. Yeah, I really like this. There's
this is just so smart much play, and I think our Protoss player is crumbling a bit, so a lot of a lot of small mistakes happening. And he's gonna go for the Twilight Counter to prevent Blink from happening.
Yeah, and is he gonna cancel it in time? He's not cancelled it. He didn't cancel it in time. And now 30 Mutalisks in the way, which means it's gonna be more harassed option here.
That's just gonna be devastating for a Protoss player to defend, because without Blink, how's he gonna handle this? He needs really, really good positioning and a lot of Stalkers.
And he has 4 Stalkers. He does have a bank though to be able to get the Stalker count necessary. But as you said, the Observer does see. Oh, the Observer does see it. And now I'm waiting to see. There's more Stalkers on the way.
Yeah,
he has walled off the 3rd.
And we will see non-stop Muta production from now on.
Yeah.
We also see Overlord drops
being produced. Oh, I really like that. The sacks.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Overlord speed for now. Excuse me. But what if we see Bailing drops? That would be absolutely crazy. But Mutas are swinging around towards the 3rd right now, and there's only 3 Stalkers right there, so huge potential for damage.
And look at the supply difference as well. It's almost 66 supply difference here.
Yeah, and freeing up the rocks on the side to make Lings. Yeah, to perhaps get some Lings in that 3rd and then harass with the Mutas in the main and just make Protoss run around.
Well, the big thing is, I think another thing here is the Zerg is now taking a 5th base uncontested. The Protoss, I don't see how he's going to take a 4th. So he's going to have a big engagement against the Zerg that's going to be able to remax very quickly.
Yeah, and here the Mutas, I think the Mutas want to try to attack together with the Lings, but are the Lings going to try the same trick twice with a run-by?
And I think that threat of the Mutalisks is going to pull them out of position again. But he's actually walled off, I think, this time fully. They can't get in.
Yeah, I think the Zerg is waiting for 2-2. And the Protoss is just going to 3rd. Oh, can he get in? Yes, he gets in. Nice force fields though.
But there's too many Mutalisks for these Stalkers. Obviously going to move back.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of the cannons.
The
Yeah.
cannons provide too much support there, and the force fields are
But look at
really
the
well
main.
placed.
The main doesn't have any defenses whatsoever.
Yeah, and he has.
And now he's
sort
moving into the main. And now the Stalkers are moving into the main. And he's going to go back at the natural.
Yes, and now the Stalkers are way out of position. Blink still not. Blink is almost done though. There we go. Blink is done.
But look at everything just disappearing here. Even the Mutalisks can almost trade fairly now.
Yeah, but all he has to do is delay because he just took his 5th.
Yeah.
Getting up his wall of spines as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. Those wall of spines, you can now move across the map. The creep spread will now can just move across the map, and you can really start to take control of this game.
Deal. Look at this man. Dark Shrine on the way.
Well, to be quite honest, he's in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah,
and that
I
is
think Dark
one of
Shrine
the only
is
ways.
a possible way to come back because his opponent doesn't have Spore Spine at the fort.
I do love the position of the
Okay.
Dark Shrine as well. But you're right, he doesn't have any spores or spine at the 4th or the 5th. So,
Yeah. And now I see Ventral Sacks on the way.
and now the army's moving in. Another base is being taken, a 6th base.
Yeah, indeed. Wow. And look at all these mutas. How much mutas is this? 30 mutas on the map right now. Storm is on the way though. He's just gonna fight these. I think he is.
Yep. Oh, I think he could have taken that.
Yeah, now he
Oh,
can...
he's moving out. Yep.
Oh, and he could be getting... What are the Lynx gonna do? The Lynx are just gonna move in.
Are they going to take that Immortal out? Yeah, they're going to take that Immortal out there.
Yeah, but the Immortal isn't the important thing. It's...
Oh, no, the Immortal stays. 1 HP Immortal.
And the Council on the fort. But yeah, as you said, the Protoss player is in a lot of trouble, and this constant aggression now from Zerg is just really
it's
throwing
just
him
so
off.
difficult for him to take a 4th base, that's the thing. And how many units has he lost? The greatest bar's being mortal. He's lost 13 units. Sorry, workers. But, as I said, it's going to be so difficult for him to take a 4th.
Yeah, and the Stalkers are now positioned to deal with the incoming attack towards the main. Oh no, they just moved back. And he blinks back now, but...
Now there's some Stalkers here that are going to come for free.
Yeah,
Trading not as cost efficiently as they should for a
big
whole.
amount of Stalkers is running to the 3rd, and his mutas are just going to town on these fucking... on these probes.
Base. Yeah. And I think he can take can you take the Nexus out here? Oh wow. And there's so much is going down here.
Oh, he's going for the Fleet Beacon though.
And that's going to go down. Yeah, the Fleet Beacon goes down, and it's a fair. Everything here has now been a fair trade. And look how many bases the Zerg is now on.
Yeah, it's still on
Obviously
6
behind
and...
this though, the Protoss has managed to now take 4 bases.
But no creep spread though.
But look how many corruptors he's got back at home.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
11
slowly transitioning. Every muta he loses, he replaces with a corruptor, and now he goes into Broodlords very, very soon. The Protoss, can he establish this fort? Because the mutas are now flying towards there. And the Stalkers are still positioned at the natural, and the Stalkers are again way out of position. And will this be denied again?
Yes, I think it will be.
I think the Stalkers will be there in time.
Yeah, okay. Is he just going to sack them off? No, he's not.
Well, he's just trying to trade them out as cost efficient as possible right now. He's just going to try to kill as much props with...
And there he sees the Dark Shrine as well, that's the other thing. He's now going to see the Dark Shrine. So, is he now going to have spores off at each base? Because DTs are coming in.
Yeah, 3DTs are moving in. Will they be able to do damage necessary? But oh...
Where is the Overseer? Does he have an Overseer about?
Yeah, well he has Infestors.
Oh, good. There was a good fungal growth there.
Oh, a lot of drones going down, but I think he can afford to lose that right now. He has a lot of minerals banked, and it's about the gas. The gas is the most important source at the moment. And there we go.
And, oh yeah, the DTs go down, and then now there's more DTs going into the... Yeah, and the natural. Just trying to do as much damage here as possible.
Yeah, and these are... Just DTs are buying in time now to set up this fort base, and that's what's gonna matter. But does he have his mothership out? He was making.
No, it's only just made it now. It's gonna be at least a minute away.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while before that one is out, and The DTs get taken out, and will the Broodlord assault begin now? Because that's a lot of Broodlords. That's 15 Broodlords. 5 Infestors though, but I think it's enough Broodlords.
Yeah, I think that is enough Broodlords. I think